everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, we ask ourselves, how proud are we to be Americans?
Are we
What's
indeed
about-
proud boys of our country?
I've always thought of myself
As a proud boy?
it's obviously 4th of July is going to be coming up very soon. And we just thought that in light of the most recent horrible events in our country, we just kind of wanted to ask ourselves some questions about America. But before we get to all of that, I got something that I want to talk about, Dan. Nice little
good.
story. And I understand you're going to
That's
have
really helpful for a podcast.
You're going to have a few things that you want to talk about. So here's my first one. We've actually mentioned the fact before on the show that Qatar is going to be hosting the World Cup later this year. And World Cup, that's soccer or football for the rest of the world, all the rest of the non-America world. And a lot of people are sort of concerned about the concept of, this major international sporting event going to a highly restrictive country. So this last week or thereabouts, England football fans, soccer fans, were warned, because I guess England's going to be going to this thing. They were warned that they face up to 7 years in jail if they have a one-night stand while in Qatar.
Oh my God. That's a hell of a warning.
Up to 7 years. It can be as little as 1 year. So I mean, come on. It was, one night stand, 1 year in prison, or up to 7. Apparently, this is a quote from a police source. This is in the UK. They're starting to try to get the word out and warn people. But they said sex is very much off the menu unless you are coming as a husband and wife team. There definitely will be no one night stands at this tournament.
There definitely will be one night stands at that tournament.
There wouldn't be no partying at all, really. Everyone needs to keep their heads about them unless they want to risk being stuck in prison. They continue. There's essentially a sex ban in place at this year's World Cup. For the first time ever, fans need to be prepared. So other things, the drinking and party culture that exists after the games is also strictly prohibited.
Yeah.
And apparently, fans who attempt to smuggle drugs into Qatar could face the death penalty.
Oh my God.
So this is the kind of hosts that Qatar is offering to be for an international event that they courted, and that for whatever reason, the powers that be over the world of soccer were like, yeah, sure, let's go hold this event in a highly repressive country and just accept all their terms. Rather than, they want to host this thing. Right. Why not extract some terms here, right? And be like, listen, we're not going to a closed repressive regime to hold this without you making some concessions. Yeah. Without you, having some sort of hospitality zone where things that the fans from probably pretty much anywhere, although probably they're singling out England because aren't they notorious? The
fans? Soccer hooligans?
I've heard. I have no idea. Right. But yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get, guys.
Yeah.
You can't take these things. You cannot let these things go to these places.
No.
It's a terrible
absolutely
precedent.
Not.
And then now they're just dictating how people are. No, these fans want to go to this event.
I really hope the word is getting out and that no one goes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
literally, and if you're thinking of going, international listener, don't.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give them your money. Don't get make this a entirely an economically losing proposition for them, because nothing changes the mind of a Middle Eastern Muslim regime quite like the prospect of losing money. It's like they stick to their guns hard until money comes into the question, and then suddenly, oh no, Dubai's free for everyone. Do as you wish. Oh no, we're gonna have a fun city in Saudi Arabia that everyone can just go ahead and have their parties at.
Yeah, where you can wear like a swimsuit to the beach.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah, because they know. Yeah, because money talks.
Yeah.
Everybody believes everything until money's involved.
Yeah. So there.
Don't go.
Like, I don't give a rat's ass about soccer. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, we're all shocked to learn you're not a sports fan.
I can't be bothered, right? But I would be outraged if it was something that I loved, right?
Yeah.
And this is how it was being handled. Anyway, because
I
want to go drink like mad after the games and have one night stands the whole time I'm there. That's what I want.
That's basically your whole personality.
That's what I do. I don't know how to get through a week, right?
If I can't sing my drunken songs, my team songs, and go out
and go screw whoever I want.
Fuck another fan.
Yeah.
It's just the way of things.
Yeah. I will say that like the headline had me thoroughly confused. I knew it was a story that I had to read more, but because I know nothing about this world, I didn't have like Qatar in my head. I didn't have like any of that. And it was literally just England fans warned not to have one night stands. And I was just like, what? With whom?
Like fans of the country? What are we talking about here?
Anyway,
that's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm going to take us to back to here in these United States, where the commissioners for the Presbyterian Church in America have just taken a pretty dramatic step, which is that they have decided to leave the National Association of Evangelicals. Now, I have trouble keeping track of which denominations are the most asshole ones and which ones are the nice ones, and I never know which is which.
I thought Presbyterians were okay.
Well, I thought maybe that's true, and boy, when I hear the term evangelical, I tend to think not good. So when I read this, at first I thought, oh, okay, so we've got the more liberal group breaking off from the less. No, I was wrong. The Presbyterian Church in America, which is the name of an organization. I assume that there are other Presbyterian organizations.
Sure. Okay.
They've been members of this evangelical, this National Association of Evangelicals for a while now, and awkwardly, the current president of the National Association of Evangelicals is from the Presbyterian Church in America. So that's a little bit of an oopsie. That's a bit awkward. However, as it turns out, the reason for the Presbyterians breaking off their association is that the National Association of Evangelicals has actually been kind of, I don't know, decent humans sometimes, possibly accidentally, but it keeps happening. So when the Presbyterians were leaving, they cited things like, what they called them was frequently intermeddled. They said that the NAE has frequently intermeddled in civil affairs.
Intermeddled?
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a hell of a word right there. they're referred to a few things like the organization's support of immigration reform.
Oh dear. Oh God.
Their withdrawing of their support of the death penalty, which they previously supported.
So this group of Presbyterians are like, they don't want any immigrants, and they want to
be able to kill some folks legally. And also, there were things like the National Association of Evangelicals, along with a group called the Council for Christian Colleges and Universities, drafted a thing called the Fairness for All Act.
Oh, sounds awful.
Right? First of all,
brace yourself.
But you say that.
It's going to be
I'm
some
always
shit.
ready for a bait and switch on something like that. Somebody calls something a Fairness for All Act, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be like Fairness for All Fetuses or whatever. But no.
It was legit.
It called for federally recognized protections for sexual orientation and gender identity.
Oh. All right.
Which I thought, and they wanted strong religious exemptions to that, which is kind of a shitty cop-out. But the fact that they were like literally drafting something that, even though it had a carve-out for the assholes, that was at least like they wanted federal protections.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
Get on with your bad self, Association of Evangelicals. And that name makes no sense to me now.
Well, and remember that a lot of these words get used by different kinds of organizations.
I know, they need to stop it. Literally, just call yourself the National Organization of,
not those kinds of evangelicals.
Right. We are not those ones. That's the organization's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a weird separating of things, but there you go.
All right. Well, Dan, I have a story here about a ski resort in Arizona.
Oh.
In Arizona. Does this make any sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. But apparently there is one.
Yeah.
And it's down on a mountain, or nestled into a mountain that is considered sacred by the local Native Americans, the Hopis, and a list of, it was actually a list of tribes that all consider the San Francisco Peaks is what English.
Is that the name of the resort?
No. That's the name of the resort is the Snow Bowl.
Oh.
San Francisco Peaks is like the mountains.
Right.
Or as the Hopi call it, it's Nuva Tukia Ovi. It's a extinct volcano with a collapsed caldera surrounded by 6 summits. Sounds lovely. And there's been this sort of struggling ski resort there since the 1930s. And recently, oh God, this story, they've, remember, this is a sacred mountain. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me explain a little bit why it's sacred before I say what the resort has done.
That's good, because in my mind, what's happening is, if I were a member of one of the native tribes, I would literally just bounce around claiming everything was sacred just to fuck with white people.
Fair enough.
Just to make white people feel bad. I'm sure that's not what's happening right now, but in my mind, I say they should do that, and more power to them. But go on and tell why this is an actually sacred place.
Well, so the part of like the Hopi religious tradition, at least amongst the groups of people who live in the communities at the base of this mountain, and they're farmers these days, right? Well, they probably always were farmers, but they pray for snow. Okay.
Oh, right.
Because the snow, they understood the cycle here. The snow falls, it collects, it slowly melts, the water comes down in rivers, and then they get to farm, right?
Right.
And this mostly works, but the snow historically is a little erratic, right? It's not every year.
In Arizona? That's
impossible. And so it's part, this is important. Like they pray and they pray for the snows to come, and then sometimes don't, but most of the time they do, which is probably why they continue to live there. And it's apparently a very critical part of their tradition.
Sure.
Well, the ski resort also was bothered by the inconsistent snowfall.
Yes.
And so, and brace yourself, they've started using, and it's cleaned up. It's like, it's not raw sewage that they're spraying onto the mountain. It's it's been heavily processed and cleaned, and it's supposedly perfectly safe. By all federal standards, this water is safe, right? And so the Forestry Service is like, yeah, go ahead, use that to make your snow.
Yeah, sure.
So they're using what the Native Americans are hearing as sewage to make the snow fall on the mountain, which is a sacred answering of their prayers.
Right.
Okay. And they are outraged. They're absolutely outraged. Also because now there's no question. Every single year, there's going to be snowfall on the mountains, whether they pray or not.
They're mad about that?
They are mad because it undermines their faith.
You guys. The Lord works in whatever Lord you got.
Yeah.
You got to think in mysterious ways here.
I know. And in this case, and I don't mean this, he sent some white people.
That's right. Your gods, the spirits, whatever spirits you want to give you rain, have sent you these lovely white folk.
And white folk, we don't have any, we like a good white savior complex, right? And so anyway, so this is a quote from one of the Hopi farmers. Our whole way of life depends on the mountain and praying for moisture. He says that many Hopi feel they can no longer be sincere in their prayers because they know humans have taken over the sacred act of creating snow, making the Hopi's ancient rituals seem pointless. And this is one of those things. And so now there's like this whole, because of the artificial snow, this is like the first time that this resort is like actually flush, because they had like boom and bust years. And so like the good years paid for the bad years. And finally now, and especially because, there's so many people, in Phoenix now and moving to Flagstaff, that there's a lot of people who go out to this resort. And so it's like flush. And so they want to do a big expansion, and the Hopis and the other tribes who are affected are fighting it because
they're going to be spreading sewage all over that joint
because it's sacred. And I know that we've talked about this on the show before, where it's like, as a white American, there is nothing but conflict in me about this topic. And like, I want our country to do right by the Native Americans. Right.
Absolutely.
I really want that. But I also I have no respect, truly, if I'm being really honest, for faith, no matter what tradition it's coming out of.
Right.
And so it's just, these are hard ones for me.
No, it's absolutely. Yeah, I
don't want to shit on their traditions, but at the same time, it's like, well, just, it's okay. It's okay. Now
there's
you have
water
snow
on your
every
mountain.
year.
You wanted water on your mountain. You got it. What?
Yeah. God works in mysterious ways. I think that's what you said a minute ago, right?
Yeah, something like that. All right. Well, good Lord. I'm going to tell you, look, we have had many discussions about how U.S. Army chaplains are, a problem. We need to replace the entire institution with U.S. Army psychologists or something. But for right now, there's still chaplains all throughout the U.S. military.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad news. But also this week there was much worse news, which was, as everyone, literally everyone that's listening to this has heard by now, the Supreme Court of these United States, in a blindingly stupid move, overturned the Roe v. Wade / Casey versus Planned Parenthood decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And now in a bunch of states, including our own beautiful Utah, abortion is effectively illegal.
Yeah.
Which is not great. In fact, it is terrible. And people are not going to get health care that they need now. So hooray.
And people are going to die.
Really bad things are going to happen. Yeah. So there you go. And people are, people are going to be forced to just have children that they don't want.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. That's fantastic.
The numbers of ways that this is fucked.
Oh, it's just, there's these concentric circles of the ways that it affect our society that are so shitty.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be talking about that. A lot of people will do a much better job than we will. So I yield to them, other than to say, fucking bullshit. Anyway, speaking of bullshit.
Which I was downtown last night, and obviously just a small digression.
Sure.
And we're recording on Saturday. The news came out on Friday, so there was a march in Salt Lake on Friday night.
Right.
And we were downtown, and the march was had sort of broken up, and people were, going their merry ways, and or not so merry ways, because the crowd was angry. And there was a mother with probably about a 5-year-old little girl in tow.
Mm-hmm.
And you could hear this child's voice sort of floating above the din saying, 2, 4, 6, 8, fuck the church and fuck the state. And the look on the mother's face was amazing.
Yeah.
It was half pride and half we're having a long talk later.
Oh man, that's all pride for me. Maybe that's why it's a good thing that I'm not a parent, because I would have just been beaming ear to ear with pride to hear my 5-year-old kid say that. Anyway, back to the Army, where Major Brian T. Hargis, who was the brigade chaplain for the 157th Infantry, upon finding out about this terrible SCOTUS decision, he sent an email to literally everybody in his brigade. It's unclear how big this all users list is, but he sent it to literally everybody that he had access to. And the email basically was just rejoice and be happy, and because finally the little babies are protected from the big murderous mommies and doctors. It's just what you expect from far right Christians who, care much more about a fetus than they do about, living people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's gross. It cites all these scriptures, and it says, this is something to be very excited about, and blah blah blah.
Oh
God. And this is a representative of the United States Army, which is a government entity.
Yeah.
But these chaplains kind of live in their own bubble. This was, by the way, this story was sent in to us by a listener, so thanks for that. But yeah, rejoice and celebrate was what he wrote. Today is not a tragic error nor a very solemn moment for the United States. We should not condemn the Supreme Court to hell, as Representative Maxine Waters did today. Instead, we should rejoice in this decision because it honors God.
Oh boy.
Which is hilarious, because he wouldn't, if you ask him to, he would not be able to point to the place in the Bible that says that abortion is wrong, because it don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't stop him from quoting a bunch of Bible verses and blah, blah, blah. I will say this. on the positive side of this story, there was a fairly immediate response where two senior officers, Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Hunter and Colonel Troy Mills, both wrote emails to say, Lieutenant Colonel Hunter said, "This is an inappropriate message to send on this medium, and I cannot endorse your statements or sentiment. I ask that you recall this message and allow individuals to hold their own opinions on this matter." I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And then Colonel Mills wrote that there were many difficult societal and political issues evoking strong emotions, and just said that people should constrain their response in light of various deeply held beliefs, etc. So,
okay. Wow.
Maybe there are some people out there who get it a little bit. But yeah, things aren't going great.
No.
They're not going great.
No, not at all. All right. Well, I want to shift to a story coming from Oklahoma.
Oh,
yeah.
Your hometown, your home state.
From a town called Kingfisher.
Oh.
It's about 50 miles out of Oklahoma City.
Okay.
I have a feeling those are 50 very important miles. Oklahoma City is not a bad place. But this town, once I get done with this story, there's a movie theater there, the 89er Theater, that is showing the Pixar's new movie, Lightyear.
Oh, sure.
I don't follow such things. But something that happens in this movie is that two of the characters engage in a very scandalous gay kiss.
What?
In a Pixar movie, Dan.
I saw the clip of this. It is literally like this not featured, very short thing that no kid would even notice, but there you go. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yes, there's a gay kiss. Got it.
So the 89er Theater decided that they needed to warn people before coming into the theater.
Yeah.
And so they posted a sign that says, "Attention parents, the management of this theater." Also, they're spelling theater R-E, which I always think is funny because it's very fancy. The management of this theater discovered after booking Lightyear that there is a same-sex kissing scene within the first 30 minutes of the Pixar movie. We will do all we can to fast forward through the scene, but it might not be exact.
What?
Yeah.
Are they allowed to do that?
Probably not.
Fast forward.
Yeah. There's somebody in the theater with the remote control hitting skip.
They just need to hire like a clown to come in that moment and be like, "Hey kids, look over here," and then leave.
Yeah, exactly. Just distract everybody.
Oh my God. That is absurd.
Yeah. It has caused quite a stir. People in the town were actually like outraged, apparently.
Outraged by the theater or by the gay kiss?
Well, okay, it probably wasn't tons of people, but there were people who came forward who were outraged at the theater. We're just like, what the hell are you? Who cares, right?
Yeah, what's the matter with you?
I mean, the fact of the matter is, and this is true, 80% of this country like supports gay marriage, right?
Yeah.
Which means
I thought you were going to say 80% is gay. And I was like, that seems a little high.
It's a little high. But like it's something like 80% of the country supports gay marriage, which means 80% of the country is probably fine with a gay kiss in any movie, right? Now, in Kingfisher, Oklahoma, I suspect it's not 80%.
No.
But it's a number. It's a good number. I guarantee you it would probably surprise people. Even in these, middle America cities and small towns and whatnot, there's way more support than there used to be. And I love that people actually like came out and were like, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is like bigoted.
Stop being idiots.
This woman who's quoted in the article called the sign cruel and bigoted. I will never see a movie at this theater while under this ownership. That's what she said.
Oh, wow.
And then there's...
Well, you may not have to worry about that because it may be under new ownership soon once Disney hears about this.
Yeah, no kidding.
They don't fuck around. You don't mess with the mouse. You don't fast forward a Disney Pixar movie.
No, you have to watch every single frame, period. Anyway, there's an LGBTQ advocacy organization called Oklahomans for Equality, and they really focus on rural outreach because Oklahoma, it's a pretty rural place, or there is a lot of Oklahoma that is very rural. Yeah, and they're out there. They're doing good work. Yeah. Go see Lightyear, everyone.
Yeah, apparently. I'm going to see it. You probably won't. I really enjoy almost all of Pixar's stuff.
They're cute. The ones I've seen, I usually end up liking and shedding a tear at some point, or three, right? Like that one where they're like all about to be like burned, incinerated.
Oh, the Toy Story. That was like Toy Story 3, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. But that scene got me.
That one's a killer. That one's the first 20 minutes of Up. Forget about it.
Oh,
You're dead.
God.
You're dead. You're dead. Okay. So I'm going to take us now to Georgia and Texas, where the FBI has raided a few churches affiliated with the House of Prayer Christian Church, or HOP.
Is that what they call themselves?
Well, HOPCC.
Okay.
But I mean, how do you pronounce HOPCC? But HOP.
Okay.
Anyway, apparently what's been going on is that this little Christian church, I'm going to call it a cult. It's they act very cult-like. It's very culty. They have been running a scam, or at least they are accused of this.
Really? A cult running a scam?
Right? Look, we've said it before on this show. If you're a church, you're already a scam, and you're the legal kind. You get away with it. All you have to do is church, and you get to keep your money. You don't get taxed on it. It's already a scam. Don't then go and add to the scam with an illegal scam.
You said they were running a scam. I just assumed it was the normal one.
No. They've added to their scam.
Wow. Okay.
They have the legal scam going, and then they add that little illegal touch that is so it just no. So basically, someone at the House of Prayer Christian Church started to really understand the way the United States veteran system works.
No.
The VA here in these United States has several benefits for veterans. They still don't do well enough by our veterans, but there are a few things that they do, including a GI Bill that is meant to help veterans get educations after they serve, mm-hmm. and help with medical issues, et cetera, et cetera. Well, apparently, this group has been just basically scamming the VA for a long time now. What? So what they do is, first of all, they have little churches or seminaries right outside of several army bases. So they literally target veterans.
Oh, wow.
Before they're veterans. They target them when they're active duty.
Yeah, okay.
And then they enroll them in their quote-unquote schools, where basically they half the time they keep the students in the schools for long periods of time without actually providing any education. They have veterans apply for disability benefits and then tell them to give the compensation to the church as a tithe.
Oh my God.
They are accused of taking mortgages out in the names of parishioners, because there's a whole mortgage aid thing.
VA loans, yeah.
And they forged their signatures and used in-house notaries to do this. It is
what?
The accusations are steep. And apparently they would make the students lie to the VA inspectors.
What?
And say that they were in class when they were instead doing chores for the church leaders. This is
my God.
This is some class A cult shit right here.
Wow.
Yeah, they were lying, cheating, and stealing to get money from the U.S. government. And
were they like bleeding the beast? Was that the
right? That's probably how they justify it.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
oy, oy, oy.
Yeah. So there you go. The FBI has now raided 3 of their churches, and I imagine charges will be forthcoming.
Good. It's about time.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, listen, friends, if the FBI have raided your church and you'd like to tell us about it, please feel free to tell us about it. You can write to us, podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442. Stick around. There's more show coming up.
Well, Frank, I think what you, as a open and proud gay man, like most in the world, is to hear the opinions of small-time pastors about your gayness.
I'll tell you what it doesn't do. It doesn't faze me.
No. At this point, and here's the thing. Like, even among Christianity, as you mentioned earlier, in these United States and many places abroad, people are fine with gayness. Yeah. People are fine with it. Even Christians are fine with gay folks. And this guy agrees with us on that point and has some things to say. This is a guy named Roger Jimenez who wants to tell us all where he's coming from.
Look, the New IFB is characterized by hard preaching. We're going to preach the Word of God. We're not ashamed of it. And today, a lot of times we're characterized by our stance on the LGBTQ and the transvestite and the queers and whatever. But look, that's not really extreme for us because we just believe everything the Bible says. It's just that's the issue right now that people want to fight about. And look, I'm here to tell you something. Show me the movement of Christianity in America or anywhere in the world today that's standing up against the queers. Show them to me. Where are the preachers? We're literally, on that subject, we're the last man standing. And we've got to just cry aloud, spare not. As you say, they attack us, they sue us, they protest us, they bomb our buildings, they try to get us evicted. Who cares? We're going to preach the Word of God. You say, Pastor Manis, have you changed your stand on the Sodomites? Look, what I believe about the Sodomite, I agree with Pastor Shelley. I agree with Pastor Thompson. I agree with Pastor Mejia. I agree with Pastor Anderson. I believe the Bible says that they should be made unalive. Just to make sure this doesn't gets quoted right on social media. They should, by due process.
You see how funny it was? He said unalive instead of killed. Because that's what the kids are doing on the social media so that, they're not flagged for saying murder.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good.
I just what I really liked about that was that he's like, all of us bigoted Christians are dying out here. Of course, then he lists a list of 100 different pastors that he agrees with. So,
yeah.
But I like that he knows he's a dying breed. That makes me happy.
Yeah. Except that he feels probably more righteous. In his position now than.
And the hateful glee that you hear tittering in the background is not particularly nice.
Or encouraging.
But, if you watch the clip, you know that theirs is not a high quality church.
Is it like a strip mall church?
Probably. Behind him is just a big white sort of fabric backdrop, probably covering a cinder block wall. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, like one of the wealthiest churches around, Dan, i.e. the Mormons.
Yeah.
Lots of cinder block walls in their churches too. So.
Yeah, but they don't have to cover them. They don't care. All right. Well, we had some folks call into us. So let's get to that. Kayla wrote into us. Hi, Frank and Dan. After listening to the segment you guys did about the new quarters, you remember the quarter, our $quarter coin that had George Washington very ceremoniously looking away from "In God We Trust."
Wow. It's a sign.
Shocking.
It's a sign.
It's a sign. After listening to your segment you did about the new quarters, I started to look it up and inspect the quarters I had in my purse. I quickly discovered that I know frighteningly little about our country's currency. I saw the new quarter design for 2022 with George's head turned away from the "In God We Trust" inscription, but I also noticed a 2002 state quarter, Tennessee, and other state quarters had the inscription on the side that General Washington wasn't looking as well.
Mm-hmm.
Are there federal quarters and state quarter types? Some say Liberty on the top and some say in United States of America. And if so, why not the outcry about some of the state quarters for all these years?
Oh, there was.
Was there?
Yeah. This wasn't the first time this has come up. He wasn't terribly original in it. But we weren't really doing the show when the state quarter outcry
That's true.
was happening. So,
and no, the states don't release these quarters. That was just a weird thing that they
were
did back then.
They love to make collectible coins because you take them out of circulation.
So they let every state design a quarter, and that's how that all happened. Yeah. Anyway. There you go. Kayla, thanks for writing in. We have a voicemail, do we not?
We do indeed, Dan, a longtime listener and not a first-time caller. And he's responding to something from a couple episodes ago.
Okay.
Hey, Frank and Dan, love you guys. This is Navy Dave from an undisclosed location in the Middle East. Formerly the caller known as Desert Dave from San Antonio. I hadn't called in a long time, and now I'm back in the Middle East. But I was just listening to your most recent episode, and I just when at the end when you were talking about finding like-minded people, I live in a country where atheism has just been downgraded from a capital offense to only considered terrorism, so you just get a few years in jail and your feet beaten occasionally. And even here, I can find a lot of people that are like-minded, even among the locals. And now I'm traveling right now in Europe. I'm in Spain for a while, and it's a quote-unquote Catholic country. But here, a lot of people say, well, they're Catholic, but it's culturally, and they don't believe in all that bullshit, to quote one of the ladies I was having coffee with. I want to tell you how much it means to me that you guys put this podcast out. You and some of the other guys I listen to have kept me sane and happy over here in the hotbed of religious fanaticism. I love you guys, and take it easy.
Well, that's very nice.
That is.
Thanks, various Daves. the Daves of various things, places, desert and or Navy. I hope you're not in Qatar because, boy, don't have a one-night stand.
That's on. Yes. No, don't.
But yeah, I think that it is actually interesting to hear that that you can find like-minded people literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course you can. It's not like, it's not like figuring out that God doesn't exist is a regional thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Having that much sense is just something that happens dispersed evenly throughout the world. And I think that's a good thing for people to remember, because if you feel like you're in a place where no one thinks the way you do, no one no one has figured out that their religion was all just a scam from the beginning, you're not in that place. There are people around you who are quietly living with the same beliefs that you have, and sometimes you can find them.
Yeah.
And find community. So. Yeah. That's good. RJ wrote into us, who RJ said, you'll recall we spoke a little bit about ways of disposing of human remains.
Mm-hmm.
And RJ said, so my choice of disposal of my corpse after I die isn't particularly environmentally friendly, but it is metal as heck, so let's go for it. There are a few places that will cremate you, then take your ashes and put them under pressure to turn them into a diamond. I've heard about this. It's kind of cool. Then my ex-wife, we're still friends, can wear me on a necklace or a ring, and if anyone asks about it, she's going to have to say, "Oh, that's my ex-husband." Pretty sure no one's going to treat her poorly then. That's cute. Yeah, I like the idea of being turned into a diamond. I think that's kind of fun.
Diamonds are forever, Dan.
They really aren't. You can totally destroy a diamond.
Dan, not true. I've heard this many times.
That's true. If we can't trust James Bond about, the indestructibility of certain structures of carbon, I don't know who we can trust. Anyway, do we have anyone to thank?
We do, Dan. We do indeed.
Oh, good. Hooray.
We have a new priest this week, Dan.
Oh.
A listener by the name of Daniel. Dan.
We assume it's a listener. Maybe it's me. Maybe I just thought we needed more money, and I know
your email address, and this is yours.
A different Daniel.
So to the not Dan Daniel, thank you very much.
Yes.
And if you'd like to join in and support the show, you can do so by going to our website, thankgodimatheist.com, and clicking on the support tab. And
now is the best time to do it.
And as always, Dan, we have our top donor to thank, our Lord and Savior, Davis! Woo! Stick around. We got more show coming up.
Dun 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 dun
Dun, dun, na, na, na. Oh, wait.
It's John Philip Sousa time, everybody. We are fast approaching the 4th of July, the Independence Day of this United States, where we celebrate our country and the fact that we kicked England's ass in a war. And
200 and some odd years ago.
A long time ago, and now we're our own country, and look at how well we are doing.
Oh, the American experiment, Dan, is going so well.
It's going great.
But your little march, though, that you just did reminded me of being a child, and my dad putting on patriotic marches, a record on his stereo, right?
Yeah.
And us all marching around the house with waving little patriotic flags, little American flags, and marching around to, whatever. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. You were in a patriotic family is what you were.
And you know what? It was fun. As a little kid, 4th of July
you sound like you're justifying. You sound like you're being a little defensive about it.
Am I?
No,
it was fun. I mean, there's, you get together, you barbecue, there's like a party, there's games,
there's parades and fireworks.
Yeah. Rodeos,
Yeah. Take
Big
that,
deal.
rest of the world. Where are your National Day rodeos?
Anyway, but we were celebrating
Roping cattle.
These were the Reagan years,
Yeah.
It was
Anyway,
different.
all of that stuff's still happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta say, the waving of an American flag feels different.
Yeah, it has for a while.
Yeah.
But it, in particular, feels a little rough these days.
It's just it is kind of owned by one side. In the symbol wars, the gays got the rainbow. They wrestled that away from the Christians.
Mm-hmm.
And the fascist religious right seemed to own the flag of the United States of America.
Flag of the United States and various sort of black and white versions with like one stripe.
Yeah.
That's or grayed out, I guess, versions with like one stripe that's red or blue or whatever for whatever reason.
Yeah.
No, I was actually thinking about this the other day, Dan. That just the fact that it's like, what can we on the left do to the American flag to both own it, but also, say, fuck you to everybody else, right? Because that's important.
Because you can't just fly the flag and say, haha, it's ours again, because everyone will think you're just one of them.
Yeah. And I can't claim this, and I don't know if it's gaining steam or not, but I saw something on Reddit where somebody was flying their American flag upside down. Which is the symbol of distress.
Distress, yeah.
But
it's not a good idea to do that because, I mean, in theory, someone might come try to rescue you.
I think... I mean, we have moved beyond needing to communicate with flags.
With flags?
Yeah, in sort of like to send out an SOS or some sort of emergency
we're not
alert.
at the time of maritime flag communication.
Yeah, what is that? What is that called? Semaphore. We don't need to do that anymore.
I mean, it'd be a fun way to sort of, if you need to signal something to your spouse across the target, and you don't want to holler.
You just have two flags and you're doing
just grab a couple of flags and just
waving her in, We don't have a good thing.
No. And it's hard, it's so funny because I have seen many times on internet forums and on social media or whatever, some Trump lover here in these United States saying, if everybody loves Obama so much, or not Obama, God, I miss Obama. If everyone loves Biden so much, where are the Biden hats? Where are all the Biden flags? Where's the Biden blah, blah, blah? And I just think to myself, yeah, but we don't worship our guy.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of what we do. We don't want that. And that's the whole point.
Well, it's wild that
we don't want to worship our country. We don't want to make a hero out of just a person. They are an elected person who does a job.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of wild that that's kind of also their perspective of like, if you support someone, you wear a hat.
Right.
Like
you have to, first of all, you have to signal it to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to like ride or die on that person. Like you either are all in or all the way out. And there's no I'm not a Biden fan.
I just got some insight though. Like these guys, they kind of want us driving around rolling coal with a Biden flag on our
right.
F-150.
They do.
Hopefully it's an electric one.
Right.
That would, hard to roll coal though with an electric.
Yeah, we're rolling sun. Suck it. I'm rolling sun, baby. Yeah, they are participating in a war that we're just not fighting. We don't want to fight it. It's not a war that's worth fighting. We're here just trying to make the best country that we can make, realizing that everyone in this whole thing is flawed and that the system is bullshit and money corrupts everything. And
I don't know, Dan. I think that we might. I think the left is pissed off right now in a way that I don't think we've ever seen.
Yeah,
I think we're going to start seeing some outward displays of.
Yeah, but our outward displays need to be better than theirs. It needs to be something different, something more.
How about this? They need to be at least just as good as. Right?
Well, no, here's where I'm coming from. All of that stuff, that we see on the right where it's like, Trump flags and MAGA hats and, shirts that say fuck Hillary and, let's go Brandon and all of that stuff is identity politics. And that's not what we need to be doing.
No, I know that in an ideal world, what you're saying is true. However, this has got to get down into the trenches.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying it's got to get a little ugly and we got to start throwing some shade around, right, at these people, right? Okay. And I think we should probably challenge accepted. We need to start wearing hats. And maybe they are better hats. We don't go ball cap. We maybe go fedora.
Oh my God.
And a nice a nice cravat of some kind that shows our support for Biden.
Can I do a tam?
Smoking jacket?
Can I do a lovely tam for my hat? Perhaps a fetching pork pie hat.
There you go. Yeah.
A
This is what I'm
boater.
talking
Maybe
about.
I'll do a nice Biden boater.
You're getting in the spirit of it, Dan. Yes.
I like it. Okay, fine. We're going all in. I'm down with the merch. We can do the merch. I just don't want it to be identity stuff. I think our merch should say things like, instead of Biden or Democrat or whatever, it should say things like, I care about humans. No, something better. I don't know.
But you do know that the left used to be the crazies with all the bumper stickers.
Oh yeah.
That was our thing.
That was our
way
thing.
before it was their thing, and now they're doing it, and we're not. And I don't know why that's the case. We're not doing the crazy anymore.
Yeah, we do need. I don't know.
We need some crazy. We need the Subarus covered in bumper stickers again.
Yeah.
Where did that go?
I mean,
That used to be a thing.
Subarus cost a lot now. People don't want to put stickers all over them. They spent too much.
I've seen these giant fucking pickups rolling around town, right? With the Trump shit and the, everything you just described.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid of it. They're tacking up their $90,000 pickups.
Yeah.
But
it is. Yeah. We do need to come up with a way to I don't know. I don't want to say level the play. Here's what we need to do is just change how the conversation happens. But I don't know.
Not bumper sticker. Don't have this conversation by apparel, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think the left is doing a decent job fighting in the meme wars. But maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? We need to combat Tucker Carlson and those types, and I don't know how you combat them. It's probably not with stickers.
Why not? Bumper sticker.
You know what? Try it. We now insist that all of our listeners put a bumper sticker on their car. You have to now. That is an official TGIA position. Just because you got to try something.
Yeah, something about fucker Tucker or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. What a fucker that Tucker.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it. We're headed in the right direction. I think we're headed in the right direction. You guys have literally a week to come up with it before the 4th of July, which is your deadline. So everybody go out there, come up with your slogans.
Yeah. I want something about Trumper and bumper. There's something there.
Keep your Trumper off my bumper.
Yes,
if you're a Trumper, you don't get to thumper.
I don't know about that one. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you guys will do it. You guys will figure it out.
We want to hear
and then you'll have to go to whatever local bumper sticker shop you've got to have it made, and then get it on your car before the 4th of July.
There you go. But I would need pictures.
It's the way we take back America, people.
I want stories and pictures. Yeah,
that's right. Because otherwise, I don't know what to do.
It is where political dialogue. It's where it's all we've got.
It's if you can't get it done in a pithy,
talk to each other, right? We're clearly not, like, we're in our bubbles. We're not communicating,
and no one's listening to well thought out, honest argument.
Yeah.
At this point,
so some flipping the bird to Trump somehow. I mean, that's where we're at.
So do it. It's worth a try. Get out there and hang up a flag and sticker your bumpers, and we'll just keep trying shit until something happens.
All right.
All right. Well, if you'd like to make suggestions about ways that we can take back our country, not that we ever had it, but ways that we can improve it anyway, please feel free to write into us. Podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. We'd love to hear your voice. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click on the like button.
And if you'd like to join one of our members-only lounges, please do so. You can go to thankgodimatheist.com/members-only.
Yep. Hey, thanks so much to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their fine music.
And thanks to Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
And thank you to all of you, dear friends, for tuning in. We sure do appreciate ya.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.